Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name's Stuart. Back on the launch day of Warhammer the Old World, I was at Warhammer World and I picked up one of these maps. They sold out pretty quick, and then very recently Games Workshop announced a new version of the map, and I bought one and mine has just arrived, so I thought we'll take a little look at it and see what's changed.
Miniature Realms is proudly sponsored by Counter-Attack Bases. They stock a wide range of counters, gaming aids and movement trays for multiple game systems, and offer custom items to suit your club, your event, or even your podcast or YouTube channel. Check out the link in the video description.
Now, I'm not going to lie, I love maps, hence why I own two of these, and I have a few more as well. And we've had loads of different versions of the Old World map over the years, including this one from 1986, I believe. This one is one of my all-time favourites, and I think it's from 1994. I had it free in a copy of White Dwarf. I really wish I still had it pinned on the wall. It was covered with blue tack and ripped in the corners and long since been thrown away. So I really want to get hold of a good quality and reasonably priced version of one of those, rather than some of the extortionate prices I keep seeing on eBay. I also have this, and I don't know its origins, but I have a lovely print of this that I've bought on eBay, all framed up. And now we have this new version of the map of the Old World Imperial Calendar 2278. Now, this isn't going to be the most long, in-depth meta review of a map. That would be really, really boring and dry. It's going to be quite a quick video. But I wanted to show, for the people who are interested, the differences between the two maps. Practically, it's quite hard to do. They're not huge, but they are full fold-out maps, which means placing them side by side and cross-references between the two with a camera becomes a little bit difficult to do, but there are other ways around it. But I'm also going to talk about some of the alternatives to this. Now that this is just got out of stock, it managed to stay in stock, I think, for the entire pre-order period to a couple of days afterwards, but I went back and checked just before recording this, and it has now gone out of stock, and I doubt it was something that will restock. You never know, but I doubt it. But there are alternatives out there, I've already said, and we'll discuss those towards the end of the video. Side by side, the new one is a little bit thinner. It's not just because I've had one open before. It must be slightly different paper stock, because as we'll see in a moment when I open it up, it is practically the same size. I think it's all identically the same size. I didn't completely measure it, but it feels the same. It feels the same quality, so I don't know where that thickness is. It just might be the way it folds or something, but read nothing into it whatsoever. Essentially, it's the same artwork that's a little bit more zoomed out, but only slightly. You can just see there. So you all see Estalia there is pressed right up against the border of the map, and here you've got a little bit of space for C. So you got a little bit more all the way around the edges of the map. In terms of its major differences, we've got a lot more on there in terms of places and the liveries, the shields of the different factions that we've met throughout the Arcane Journals. You can see there where the edge of the Norscan lands, you've got a bit more at the top. You've got a few more tribes on there, a few more places that we've started to see mention in all of the Warriors of Chaos themed activity in the narrative at the moment. And it's really, really nice to see. So it's kind of filled it out. What you're not going to find really here is anything extra to what's on the online map, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But all the little things that you want to see, that you've kind of seen added in recent Arcane Journals, are there. So the little changes that have been noticed over the months and years since launch seem to be updated in this version. I'm sure there's going to be ongoing updates to the online interactive map as well, so no doubt this will become not out of date as such. It is called the Map of the Old World Imperial Calendar 2278 for a reason. This is the state of the Old World at that period, and it's really, really cool to have all these extra places marked out, and some of the extra shields, as I mentioned, some of the extra character, I suppose, behind those, and the narrative and the stories behind those as well. So all in all, it's a cool thing. I'm happy I own it. I think it's just under £20. So yes, it's not cheap, but it's also not crazily expensive for someone who wants to collect those things like I do. It's definitely not for everyone, and the fact that it's taken just over 2 weeks to sell out shows that it's not quite as hot property maybe as it was with the excitement first time round, but maybe a few people have picked it up for presents for people at Christmas as well, which is a good reason why it might have been on sale at this time. For those of you who aren't aware, the copy of that map is available to look at online, and it's interactive. I'm sure most people watching this video will know, but there are always people that are like, what? There's a map? Let's go and look at that. And if you like maps, then there's a free resource that you can go and look at. And this is where you find it at start-warhammer.com, and it was set up when the game first launched, and you have your initial YouTube videos and things, very much this is a new game, look at all the excitement, but they have added new factions and new things to it. So if you haven't travelled back, originally it was, for a very, very long time, it was just Bretonnians and Tomb Kings on there, but there's lots of extra bits on there as well. But the most visited part, as far as I'm concerned, is this area here, and this is the Old World map, and it's fully zoomed out at this stage, though there is some more travelling to be done on this map. It's a little bit of a pain to control, and I'm sorry you're going to hear lots of mouse clicks, which I can't get out because I'm recording this as I am talking about it. But you can see we can go to the right all the way up to this top corner here, and you get almost into the Chaos Wastes here, and you've got lots and lots of different place names and lots of different details on the map. That's zoomed all the way the other side. If we go all the way to the bottom, and without accidentally zooming in or out, which is easy to do, you do get all the way down into Kemri, which is really cool. And then likewise, you can go along about this far. So we don't get anywhere near Cathay at the moment, but you do get the Sea of Dread in there. And you do get the Darklands, which is really quite cool, and the Mountains of Morn. And there's a few little tidbits that are sort of appeared more recently. And if I click to zoom in, so you got the Desolation of Drakenmorn, you'll see you can click on some things and it will bring you up with a little bit of a description of what you've clicked on. For those getting excited about Kislev, you'll see that quite a lot more Kislev badges, liveries and places have been added. Some you can click on, some you can't, and at the moment all the Kislev stuff is a no-go, but then if you see it just slightly light up when you click on it, you get a little bit about a orc tribe there. Same here, you'll get a little bit about another orc tribe, and then you can click on the empire and so on and so on. So if you haven't done this before, go and search it out, because it's such a fantastically fun resource if you like maps and things. And so much of this has been updated now with the lore, with the current arcane journals, and usually not too long after an arcane journal is released, the map will get a little update, and some of the little shields and things here that haven't yet been made available to click on suddenly are. I could spend hours zooming around and clicking on there trying to find new things or little interesting points or little nods to new lore, or even lore that we've known before. Sometimes family names are continued backwards in this case rather than forwards. So if you do that yourself, if you like to zoom around and have a look on it, and if you spotted anything cool, drop in the comments below your favourite bit of the map or your favourite little Easter eggs or little clues that you think you found. I definitely like to flick around on there sometimes when I'm drinking coffee and the kids are watching some TV programme that I don't like, and it gives me a little bit of solace and stops me going mad. But if you want something to hold, or something tangible at least, that's not on a screen and is pretty small on the phone, it's much nicer on a desktop or something like that, or a tablet, then there are some places that you can get official maps and not have to resort to eBay or printing your own from images online. I'm sure most of you are aware that Cubicle 7 have the license to lots of Warhammer games for roleplay purposes, and they've launched Warhammer, the Old World role-playing game. It is out now in terms of digital formats, but there'll be hard formats coming very, very soon. And I have pre-ordered a number of the books, as well as already having the digital. I've reviewed them on the channel as well, but as part of that are maps, and you will be able to order. I've already pre-ordered mine. They ship in Q1 in 2026. The map pack, and again gives you maps of the area that the game is set in at that point, but it does also give you a slightly wider area roleplay map. It's still a smaller snapshot than you'll find on the maps we've already looked at, but if you like that stuff, there is an option there. If you want to order something that you don't have to wait for some point in Q1 next year, then There are some maps you can order right now. They're not super cheap though, but let's take a look. The warhammerart.com website with lots of collectibles and things, so licensed stuff, also has maps. And what you'll notice here is that it's a much bigger map. It's the full display that we can see online, not what they printed as the foldable map. And I'll come back to my thoughts on that at the end there, but they are fine art prints and they are not cheap. Its smallest size is 45 centimeters by 30 centimeters, so a foot and a half, and that's £40. And that's if you just have a print. If you get it on an aluminium print, that zooms up to £120. And then if you change it to the bigger size, so 90 centimeters by 60 centimeters, that's a whopping £300 or £299.99 for an aluminium print. A lovely framed print would be really cool as well, also £300. I would absolutely love that, but I just can't justify that kind of money. Framed canvas as well, still £289.99. So really cool, fairly large at that size with the full expanse on the mat. Now it's quite hard to tell whether all of the stuff we've just looked at, the most updated version of the map is on there. It does look like some of the things are, but I couldn't say for certain. It does, to me, look like most of the stuff from the most updated version, but we don't know how often they update it, how often they share that updated artwork with the said printers. The final official option that I found is displays. I've got a couple of these. I had them for gifts from Lord of the Rings artwork a couple of years ago, and they're lovely. They are metal posters, and you see, we look at the different shots of them. There are some really cool things. They stick on the wall quite easy, don't mark, but it's not an advert for them. I'm not affiliated with them at all. They are proper nice things, and I'm actually tempted to maybe pick one of these up just because it shows the entire map rather than just that smaller area. But as you can see as well, they are $44.99, and then you've got to pay shipping on top of that. I think they come from outside of the UK if you are UK based. I might be wrong there, but the shipping one I saw it earlier on wasn't free as well, so they can be quite expensive, and they're not huge. The medium-sized one is 17, so 18 inches by 12.5. The XL size isn't available. Large is slightly better, 26.6 and 18.9. It's a little bit bigger, but still not huge there. So some of those little badges and things are going to be quite small on there. I'm tempted, I like it, but am I £75 tempted? But for those people looking for the poster style to put on the wall, the display option or the art print display is probably a little bit cheaper, might be better. And I know that's one of the things. When I made a little video adjacent to this map, when I talked about what the change in the map might mean for the game, rather than just comparing the map, a lot of comments were, I wish it was a poster, I can't believe it's not a poster, etc. And I know when I first picked up the map, I thought it would be a rolled poster until I picked it up in my hand and realised it was this fold-out map. And I was initially a little bit disappointed because I think I wanted to put it on the wall as well. And now I'm happy it's the way it is, because I quite like the fact that this is a nice thing to keep. Posters always get torn up over the years unless you frame them. This is a really nice thing to come back to and open up and have a look. And that's why I quite like the idea of maybe picking up a display or something. Now my final critique of this, really, and this folds out quite large. And I have to wonder now, and it makes sense maybe with this one, at the state of the game at this time, the original map, it was all about this is the old world and this is where we are and we're zoomed in on this place. And this maybe is a logical next step, filling in the rest of the map. But you know what? I would have preferred this to be zoomed out a little bit more like the displayed version of the map, and show Khemri as well, and show a little bit more of the Chaos Waste all the way up to the top. Basically the entire area that we see on the interactive map. And maybe those dimensions just don't work with the map, or maybe that's what it is. There's probably something practical about that, but I would have loved that. Tomb King's Khemri are part of the game and have been the whole way through. It would have been lovely if they were on this. Maybe there will be a different version. If they can make money out of these, maybe they will produce another one in a year's time and it will be zoomed down even more. Maybe there'll be a whole world map that shows Cathay on there at some point, or maybe there'll just be a separate one for the East, which would be really cool as well. I hope they do that. If anyone who decides these things is looking at that or watching this video, do that. That would be really cool. But I'd love to see this as a wider spread. I think that would have made this a 10 out of 10 second purchase, because right now it feels like this one's not needed anymore. I'm going to keep it for a collector's sake, but this one now becomes kind of invalidated. Whereas if this one was the more zoomed out version that we see on this plate, you could have made more of an argument that this is more of the world shown. It's a different map, and I would have preferred that. Still love it though, still pretty cool. No regrets buying it, but I want to see more of the world. But that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you've picked up the map, what you think of the maps. Are you going to pick up any of the alternative maps, or what would you like to see in your perfect old world map or products? Because you never know, people in charge might be watching it and they might think that's a good idea. You never know with these things. Probably not. But please do give the video a like as well. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. If you've been watching the channel a while and you like what I do, please do check out my Patreon. It is a fantastic way of supporting me, and I really appreciate all my current patrons. I couldn't keep doing what I do and make quite as many videos as I do without their financial support, and I'd love to make even more, and the way I can do that is having more and more patrons support me in what I do. So I appreciate everyone's help, but please do check it out if you're able to. Please also check out the channel sponsor, Counterattack Bases. Loads of fantastic game aids and custom dice as well. But thank you very much for watching. Take care. I'll catch you soon.